Greetings, Patriots. Renegade here, or as I sign my Facebook post. First, if you would like to support me in my efforts, please do so. The link will be in the description below. Also, we do have a Discord link, and that will be included in there as well. While we're on the topic of psychology, I figured I would include a video about beard psychology. Now, please stay tuned until the end of the video to hear my final thoughts. Your style says a lot about your identity. Beards, mustaches, or going clean shaven all are stylistic choices that can affect the way people view you. However, beard psychology reveals that facial hair can have an even greater impact than you might realize. It subconsciously affects the way people perceive you, including your employability, trust, social skills, and masculinity. While having a full beard doesn't guarantee an immediate alpha male presence or success in your next interview, there are limits as to what beard psychology can achieve on its own. Your facial hair can impact people's perception of you, masculinity, and aggression psychology. Beard psychology is a complex field of research that has drawn a lot of mixed conclusions. One study shows bearded men are perceived as being more likely to commit crimes, while others showed that having beard helps you be seen more trustworthy. However, one thing that does remain consistent is the psychological association between beards and masculinity, a trait which is also linked to aggression. In 2013, a large study was done that presented men and women with a set of photographs of the same man with varying lengths of hair. They had to rate each picture according to manliness. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the longer the facial hair, the more manly he was rated. A study on women's perception of male facial hair by Dixon and Brooks, also in 2013, found that beards were associated with increased masculinity, and more recent paper published in 2016 concluded that men with beards were thought as more dominant. Testosterone. Biologically speaking, this makes sense. Men produce testosterone, which causes beards to grow, something that is highly uncommon in women. Aggression. Beards also impact perceptions of aggression. A research study showed photographs of bearded men and non-bearded men with both groups pulling the same aggressive facial expression, such as scowling and baring their teeth. The bearded men were rated significantly more aggressive and intimidating than the clean-shaven man. Intuitively, this makes some sense. Testosterone is not the only cause beards to grow more full and thick, but it also impacts behavior, including aggression. Those with high testosterone levels are not likely to be able to grow large beards, but often show more aggressive behaviors. This is not to say that having a beard always makes you seem more aggressive, nor actually causes more aggressive behavior. It does show, however, that beards can emphasize other aggressive features or behaviors. If you're the kind of person that naturally leans towards confrontation, then keeping your facial hair trimmed might be a good plan. There are social limitations to impact beards can have upon perceptions of aggression. So if you don't necessarily need to shave off your prized beard for fear of being seen overly aggressive. Power and maturity. Because the ability to grow a beard is a sign of physical maturity in men, it is not a great leap to assume that it can be a sign of general masculinity. As to we get older and more better at growing beards, we usually become more mature. Beards, therefore, psychologically speaking, work in the subconscious to indicate maturity. A study from 1990 evidenced this, showing both men and women associated beards with maturity and power. The power association that comes with a beard are interesting as it can be separated from the way society has empowered men in politics, science, the arts, and within social spheres for centuries. As we learn, having a beard increases perception of masculinity. In a society where men have more power, emphasizing masculinity would therefore also increase perception of power. Interesting, it was found that female feminists were less likely to vote for men with beards. The study suggested that This was because beards caused the woman involved subconsciously to see the man as overly masculine and more likely to support violence against women. This is likely tied up with the way beards impact perception of aggression. Social psychology. Beards are associated with masculinity, dominance, power, and maturity. However, beard psychology is more complex than simply celebrating all bearded related and leaving the clean shaven men to sit with razors in their corner. A study by Professor Richard Weissman of the University of Hertfordshire found that bearded men are perceived as 38 less generous, 36% less caring, 51% less cheerful than clean shaven men. It is thought that clean shaven men are easier to go get it on with and integrate with better with others. While there might be less association with power, being clean shaven means you're more likely to be perceived as a nicer person to be around. Self perception. In the same way that wearing smart clothes might help you feel more confident and therefore affects your behavior, having a beard can impact your self perception and in turn the way you behave. A study on the undergraduates involved giving a man a fake beard to wear for a short period of time. It concluded that a person tends to form highly detailed and stereotypic impressions of another person on the basis of just a few features. With the beards being a very strong stimulus characteristic, the present studies show that the wearers of these beards follow this societal tendency and stereotype themselves in the same way. It suggested that wearing a beard affects the way you think about yourself. While the study indicated that wearing a beard involves self perception, is it really all about feeling confident? If you feel more confident with a beard, you're more likely to behave confidently in the workplace and in your home and life. And the same if you feel more confident clean shaven. Attractiveness. It is a question most men will have to ask themselves, will a beard make me more attractive? However, as with most questions related to this attraction, that is not no clear answer. Not only does everyone find different things attractive, but it will also depend on a lot of your features as to whether a beard, stubble, a mustache, or going clean shaven would suit you best. That said, beard psychology suggests that facial hair could impact attractiveness in certain ways. As mentioned above, confidence plays a part. If the way you wear your facial hair, whether it's clean shaven or bearded, makes you feel more confident, then you're likely to be seen as more attractive. It is not a clear cut rule. Some people are attracted to less confident people, but it can impact the way people view you. There has been a lot of studies into the way beards impact women's perception of men, and the results are unfortunately consistently inconclusive. This study from 2016 suggested women found men with beards more attractive, while another said facial hair has no effect whatsoever. It suggests that there's no clear winner. Some women find beards more attractive while others don't. There's a theory that suggests beards do make more attractive, but only in so much as they help him to stand out from the crowd of his peers. Again, this was tested by showing participants one of three sets of pictures, lots of pictures of bearded men, lots of pictures of clean shaved men, or a mixture. The participants had to rate the attractiveness of each picture. The findings showed that bearded men were considered most attractive only when they were surrounded by clean shaven men. It was thought that it was because they stood out among the crowd. It could be concluded that as beards become more and more common, the ability to impact your attractiveness decreases. So my final thoughts here. Well, for over 30 years as a former national commander, I had to deal with many types of men and women. Some men had beards, others didn't. What I found out is the men with beards had this know-it-all and look at me, I'm better than you attitude. I have been placed on a few hit lists, and most of the time, 80% were from former members with beards. I have a personal pet peeve I'll follow, and that is to keep me from getting involved in unwanted drama or bullshit. So if I meet someone for the first time, I will tell you this. I will be profiling you and them as soon as they walking up to me. I will look at their clothes, I will look at their hair, and their facial hair. Depending on the style of their facial hair says a whole lot to me. I'm not going to tell you what I learned about the different types over the years. I will say this: if they have a beard when we meet, I will be polite and respectful and listen to them. But if you want me to meet up or hang out, I would deflect that with an excuse because I know better to get to know them. Because I'm not too sure if he's going to try to be the only 20% that will not try to kill me or cheat me or steal from me. I mean, the odds are too great for me to risk the chance. 80% is really high. I have been told by many that I'm excluding some really great men. I'm sure I am. I always tell my family and close friends this: I want you to do this. Let me get a bag and fill it with 80 rattlesnakes, and then add 29 poisonous snakes, such as chicken snake. I want you to reach into that bag blindly and pull out me a chicken snake without getting bit by a rattlesnake. They most of the time say no or that's crazy. Now, that's how I feel and I perceive men with beards. Now, if I do decide to take a chance on you, I will make you prove to me you're not going to be like the other 80%, a lot harder than men who is clean shaven. I am sure you might not agree with me about my final thoughts, but that is just what it is, my final thoughts. I have been there and had the years to learn and practice this in the field. I have asked you, the Patriots, to clean up your looks. That tactical beard is a dead giveaway, and you will be targeted by the feds faster, as in most of the time you have them and they look all the same. The stickers, the tags, the shirt, and the patriotic tattoos also set you up to be taken off the battlefield before you even get a chance to fight because you will be rounded up in the first wave. Look, I really care about the Patriots. I would not be doing what I do here if it was just for the money or clout. I get upset at times seeing you make the mistakes and not listening. Sometimes I want to do what I want to do with my own kids and spank their asses. If I did not care about you, then ask yourself, why am I doing this? After I retired and stepped away from the spotlight, I could have just said, I'm done. It's in someone else's hands now. But instead, I created all this for you. I want to wish each and every one of you a good night. Godspeed. Renegade out.